Hello everyone, welcome to APTI PLUS Academy for Civil Services. So in this video, we are going to discuss the expected questions in your OPSC prelims 2023. So the exam is near now, only a month is left for the examination. So our objective through this video is to provide you the types of the questions that are expected in your exam. Okay, so we have done a rigorous analysis of the trends of the past few years of the questions that have been asked in your prelims exam. So on the basis of that, we have developed this video. So how this video is going to be beneficial for the students? So that is important. Firstly, so when you know that, for example, let's take the history case, the case of history subject. So once you know the type of the questions that are being asked, the pattern of the questions that is being asked, so you can tweak your remaining time, you can tweak your remaining strategy in order to increase the output. Yes. So for example, let's take an example. If you know that more questions are being asked of factual nature, okay, more questions are being asked of factual nature, so or more questions are coming from the static portion, so automatically your focus would shift towards those areas. Okay, so that is the purpose of this particular video. So with this, I am going to now start a subject wise analysis. So let's begin with your history portion first. Okay, let's begin with history portion first. So now what I have done is I have segregated the entire questions on the basis of certain types. Okay, so we will be discussing the various important subjects from which the questions are appearing in the examination, and then we are going to discuss the types of the questions. Okay, so firstly, history related portion. So you can segregate, as you all know, history into medieval history, ancient history, then modern history. So and the overlapping one is your art and culture. Then there is one more segregation, that is your post independent India. Yes. So questions have been asked from each and every portion of history. You cannot say that I will not be doing post independent. So we will be seeing that. So the first type that as you can see on your screens, is your current affairs factual kind of question. Okay. So what this is a PYQ from your OPSC prelims. So for example, Sangol was in the news last year. Sangol was very much in the news. So what OPSC has done is they have taken this particular topic. They have taken a say article, newspaper article of the Indian Express, and they have just copied the statements and made a question out of it. Okay. So this is a factual question from your current affairs. Now, second thing that you have to note is, see the kind of the factual details that have been asked. Okay, though in the options only two statement wise options are there, so that is a bit easier for the students to decipher the correct answer, but you have to also see the kind of the details that are being asked. In point number 4, you can see that the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he accepted the Sangol at 10:45 p.m. So majority of the times, okay, we tend to miss these kinds of detail. Okay, so we feel that ये चीज कौन पूछेगा, right? But they have made a question out of it. So if you feel that even if the detail seems to you to be a bit rudimentary, but still if it is an exception, okay, exception in the sense the point is being stressed upon in your newspaper articles, etc. So please take a note of that. Please take a note of that. Okay. So first kind of questions that can be asked, okay, that is your current affairs plus factual. And in the case of current affairs, there won't be any analytical questions. In history, I have seen the last few year papers, I didn't find any analytical question being asked. All the questions, they were factual in nature. Okay, so if you have prepared thoroughly, you would have easily attempted those questions. But if you haven't done, so the probability of that calculated guess, that would be very less in history portion. Okay, so moving ahead, the second type of the questions is your static and factual. Now, what is this static and factual? So under this, questions have come from your modern history also, medieval, ancient history also. Okay. And the themes that have been covered, they are easy themes, well-known themes. They are very difficult themes as well. So as you can see on your screens, that here a particular king has been mentioned, Kapilendra Dev, and a question has been asked on him. Similarly, if you see the question number 18, so that is related to Mahasivagupta Balarjan. Okay. So, and that particular question is all the more difficult because how many type of the question is there. So this is the pattern that was introduced in UPSC exam, prelims exam. So OPSC followed that. So now here also see that kind of factual details. Like in question number 18, the details are he ruled for more than 57 years. Again, we tend to miss such kind of details. So there is nothing that is, you can say, special about this particular statement, or we can attribute it specifically to Mahasiva Gupta. Okay, we suggest our students, we suggest our aspirants that you should focus on details which are something exceptional, which can be attributed to a particular king. But such kind of details, they are very rudimentary. We tend to miss them out. Okay, so but here in this particular question, if you miss out this detail, and since it is a how many type question, so the chances are that you will not be able to attempt this question. The question number 21 is all the more easier in the sense it is a single option kind of question. Okay. So in the static portion, the questions are easy and they are very difficult also, which require deep knowledge about, say, these are regional kingdoms. Regional kingdoms, questions on regional kingdoms have been asked, right? So this is the type 2. Under type 2, we have further questions related to, as you can see, Rig Veda. Question number 26 that you can see on your screens. So this is a very easy question. Okay, this is something we expect that it will be asked in the exam. Often repeated theme like Rig Veda, so Vedic age, IVC, etc. Question do comes from that. But here the catch is there are 4 statements. Okay, though the question is easy, but it is a bit lengthy in the sense there are 4 statements, and there are multiple questions from different subjects which have 4 statements in your paper, even 5 statements, and even in certain cases 6. You can say factors are mentioned, entities are mentioned. Okay, and the question number 22, it is a match the following. So there are pairs mentioned, and it has been asked, for example, this Utkal Deepika is related to which personality? So they haven't asked, they have not mentioned that these pairs signify what. So that is totally the student has to read the word and he has to understand कि ये एक personality है, ये उत्कल दीपिका क्या है. So he has to understand himself or herself. Okay, so the focus here you can see is related to state specific question also. Okay. So moving ahead, then as you saw, ki regional kingdoms were focused, state-specific questions were there, then ancient history question was there. So in the on your screens, you can also see that questions from modern India, but again 4 statements, and question from your medieval India also again 4 statements. Okay, and all these questions are very factual, like related to revolt of 1857. So the specific details have been asked that, for example, Mangal Pandey, he was executed at which place? Okay, so Tantya Tope, in which areas he was active? Similarly, Alauddin Khilji. Okay, so what kind of reforms, what kind of administration he had? So details regarding that have been asked. Yes, so these are the focus areas that you should be concentrating upon while preparing for the rest of the period. Yes, then this is the type 2 again continuing where your art and culture related questions have been asked. So here weave a particular kind of weaving has been mentioned, and it has been asked in which places it is being done. So there are certain combinations given, for example, Surat and Patan, and they have asked in which places this particular weaving is being done. Okay, so this comes from art and culture. And as you can see on your screens, the next question, it is from your post-independent India. Okay, so there are questions. I have only uploaded one on your in this particular slide, but questions are coming from post-independent India, and they can be related to your polity also. They can be related to economy also. Okay, so here what they have done, they have mentioned a political leader and the political party, and they have asked, for example, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, he was related to which political party? Or Ram Manohar Lohia, he was related to which political party? So you have to match. Yes, so the level of questions is pretty good. Okay, you cannot say that they are easy. So I would say the level is moderate and will with a tilt towards difficulty, higher difficulty level. Okay, so above moderate, you can say is the level of the questions. So from history, as we have seen, so to give a summary, so we have current affair based questions also, and we also have static questions. First thing. Second thing, the questions, they are all factual in nature. They are all factual in nature. Third thing, variety of subjects have been covered, right from your ancient period, medieval period, modern period, and post-independent period also. Okay, so you cannot miss out. So while you are revising, so revise each and every portion of the history. Then state-specific questions have been asked. Then also regional kingdoms. The focus has been on regional kingdoms. So very minute factual details have been asked related to regional kingdoms. So in history, there is no such portion that you can say that I will be leaving this out. So the from history, but the thing you should focus is that I have to focus more on factual details rather than on the analytical part. Yes, so this is related to history. Now let's move towards world geography. So I have segregated geography into world geography and Indian geography so that the analysis becomes better. So the type one again is static plus factual. Okay. So now under this, what kind of questions are being asked? Firstly, questions related to physiography. Okay. So they have mentioned a particular place, or they can mention any physiographic, this physical feature, plateau, mountain, river. So, and they are asking in which particular place or in which particular country that particular entity feature is located. So that can be a match the following question also. And a number of questions have been asked of single option also. Okay. First is this. Second, often ignored portion of geography, that is your human geography. Okay, human geography, under which the concepts such as your population, the stages of demographic transition, a favorite theme of your competitive exam, especially your civil services exams, so often ignored by the students. So questions, multiple questions are coming from this particular area. Okay, so the focus here should be on two things: one, human geography, and map based questions. Map based questions. So this is the category that is your static plus factual. Now, as you can see, again, question number 35, it is related to population distribution. So on population, questions are often repeated. Repeated in the sense the theme is being repeated. Okay. And similar question is related to your one of the theories of location, okay, given by Weber, that which is the most important factor in locating a factory. So there are four options given: raw materials, transportation cost, agglomeration, and labor. But in this particular, this was a easy question. It could have been easily managed if you even if you were not, if you aware of this Weberian theory. But the point I am trying to convey, a little bit idea about these geographical theories is required. Okay, so if you are an aspirant who is also preparing for UPSC, so you must have gone through your under your main syllabus a number of theories related to geography. It forms a part of your GS1 syllabus. Okay, so the question can come. Yes, so I have intentionally uploaded these kind of questions only to give the students an idea that there are areas which we often tend to ignore कि ये OPS में क्यों पूछेंगे या फिर ये prelims exam में क्यों पूछेंगे. but the questions do come from these areas, so we need to focus. And the amount of time to prepare these kind of topics, not more than 2 to 3 hours is required, for example, to prepare these theories. Just one sitting would be enough, one reading would be enough. Yes. Now moving ahead, then we come to Indian geography. Okay, so to give a summary regarding world geography, first thing, factual questions. Second thing, static questions. Third thing, focus more on human geography aspects, especially the theory and the various theories of geography. Then map-based questions, location of physiographic features. So these kind of questions dominate in your world geography. Now, if I talk about Indian geography, here again, the type 1 category is static plus factual, and the focus is on, again, the places. You can say the features, right? For example, here the peaks are given. So the mountains could have, the rivers could have been given, or say lakes could have been given. Okay. Even now, for example, wetlands are in the news. So features like wetlands can be given. So the questions are coming of this nature. And the pattern is match. Okay. But here it is difficult because earlier what used to happen in state PCS exams, the options were pretty easy. Okay. For example, here peak 1, it is given in A option 1 to 4. Into B it is given 1 to 3, C is given 1 to 2. But earlier what used to happen, they used to give, say, 1 2, and in D 1 1. So we just had to choose Doda Beta where it is located, in which region it is located. But now they are making the options like UPSC does a bit dicey. So taking these kind of questions, they take time, first thing, and they become more difficult if the options are arranged in this manner. So please focus upon that. So practice more geographical features based questions. So the our remaining focus, the revision part, should have more focus on these areas. Second, again, human geography related. So the things that were here there in world geography, they are being repeated in Indian geography as well. So tribal areas, like this year, your PVTGs in Odisha, they have been in the news. Okay. So question number 40, it was related to tribals. Which of the following tribals are not found in Madhya Pradesh? So you are giving OPSC exam. The question is asked, the paper setter is asking you which of the tribes is not found in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. Similarly, question related to races. Okay, so there are certain regions given and the name of the race is given, and they are asking match them. Okay, so the match the following question. So as you can see, match the following question and one option based questions. They are dominating in geography, right? Then, as you can see, agricultural based questions, but the number of statements is again 4. Okay, 4 statements plus minute details, very minute details, like specific rainfall, specific temperature, number of categories, then the India's rank in production also. ठीक है, तो ये चीज यू शुड बी अपडेटेड, यू शुड हैव योर टेबल विद यू कि फॉर एग्जांपल कॉटन हुआ तो इंडिया का क्या रैंक है. ठीक है, सो यू कैन मेक अ टेबल ऑफ डिफरेंट क्रॉप्स, cash crops, other agricultural crops, etc. And in the columns, you can make what are the features, like temperature required, rainfall required, soil required, or different types under that particular crop. Then what are the areas in India? Okay, so which states are the largest producers or have the largest reserves, and what is India's rank? Okay, at the global level, who is the largest producer or has the largest reserves, and what is India's rank? तो ये एक आपके पास डाटाबेस होना चाहिए फॉर द मेजोरिटी ऑफ द क्रॉप्स, जो कि एग्जामिनर पूछ सकता है. एंड दिस लिस्ट शुड आल्सो इंक्लूड द क्रॉप्स. देयर आर सर्टेन क्रॉप्स विच आर फ्रीक्वेंटली इन द न्यूज, तो उन पर अपना ज्यादा फोकस होना चाहिए, राइट? देन State based, now coming to under Indian geography, state specific questions have also been asked, but I could find only the single option based questions from your state, like which of the following rivers are exhibiting antecedent drainage pattern. But here, if you do not know what is antecedent drainage pattern, so you won't be able to attempt this question. ठीक है, तो a little bit idea about static portion, conceptual portion is also required. ठीक है, बट द फोकस शुड बी ऑन फिजियोग्राफिक फीचर्स. तो जब आप रिवीजन करोगे वर्ल्ड ज्योग्राफी का, इंडियन ज्योग्राफी का, तो डिवोट मोर टाइम, मोर ऑफ योर रिसोर्सेज ऑन दीज एस्पेक्ट्स. यस. Then comes the type 2 current affairs and factual. So here what the OPSC has done, so the first ever census of water bodies. So here you have to note that this was an exception in the sense that this is the first ever census. It is not like it has been happening at a regular interval. तो पहला census है water bodies of India by the Ministry of your Jal Shakti. तो उस पे question है. But ठीक है, it was in the current affairs. But see the details that have been asked. Like they have enumerated a total of 24 540 lakes, water bodies. हम क्या करते हैं, अब हमने ये पढ़ा आपका न्यूज में, ठीक है, तो हम सोच लेते हैं कि अच्छा 24 लाख के आसपास है और 25 लाख के आसपास है, ऐसा ज्यूम कर लेते हैं. हम ये एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते हैं कि पेपर सेटर विल बी पुटिंग द डायरेक्ट डिटेल. तो यहां पर क्या है, आई हैव सीन इन योर ओपीएससी प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम, द पेपर सेटर ऑफन प्लेज विद द नंबर्स. ठीक है, प्लेस विद द नंबर्स. ऐसा नहीं है कि एंड दे आर ऑलवेज करेक्ट और ऑलवेज रॉन्ग. ठीक है, तो वो चीज नहीं है. तो यहाँ पर यू हैव टू मग दिस अप. देयर इज नो अदर शॉर्टकट. ठीक है. Similarly, then the states, the highest number of tanks, highest number of lakes leads in water conservation schemes. So the question has been directly lifted from your PIB. ठीक है. So for this prelims exam, your PIB is the best source. If you ask me, the government source, if you ask me, so the most of the questions of current affairs have been picked from that, which are related to your this government. ठीक है, like schemes or the census, anything which is related to government, they have been picked right directly from your PIB. ठीक है. So this is the type 2 current affairs plus factual. Now coming to Indian polity. So again, in Indian polity, the first type is static plus factual. ठीक है, तो अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया और एनी अदर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी, नॉन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडीज, दे ऑल आर इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है, तो यहां पर द क्वेश्चन, बट द फर्स्ट थिंग यू शुड नोट दैट द स्टेटमेंट्स आर अगेन 4. ठीक है, तो यहां पर कंट्रास्ट इज देयर. इन यूपीएससी दे टेंड टू आस्क 3 स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, बट इन ओपीएससी फॉर द पास्ट फ्यू इयर्स द ट्रेंड टुवर्ड्स हैज बीन टुवर्ड्स 4 स्टेटमेंट्स और मोर, even more. ठीक है. And you can't say that the statements are easy. In this question, the statements are easy, but generally the statements are difficult and factual. Yes. So pretty straightforward question. Again, as I had mentioned that in the last video that I did, that polity, it forms the major chunk of your exam. Almost 1/4 of the paper for the past couple of years has been from polity itself. ठीक है, तो यहां पर and scoring net 22 or 20 to 22 out of 25 questions, if 25 questions are coming in the exam, is a must. And it is easily achievable if you have done sincere preparation. Sincere preparation in the sense that you have revised your standard book, be it your APTI Plus Polity book or be it your Lakshmikant multiple times, plus you have been doing the current affairs thoroughly. So this is more than sufficient to score a very good marks in your polity section. तो अगर आप सोच के देखो, अगर आपका 22 ठीक हो जाती है नेट out of 25, that takes the score around 44. So that almost 40 to 40 50% of your total score would be coming from polity itself. ठीक है, so focus more on polity. Second type, again, second type of question is pretty straightforward from the standard books, the types of majority. But the thing that I want to highlight, see, they have made pairs here. First thing. Second, see the number of the statements. 5 statements have been asked. Okay, so the 5 statements have been asked, but the question is straightforward. So this type of question, it won't take much time, but the thing we have to note is we have to read the words. We have to also read between the words. क्योंकि यहाँ पर क्या होता है, वी ऑफन टेंड टू मिस माइन्यूट डिटेल्स. तो एग्जामिनर है जो पेपर सेटर है, उन्होंने थोड़ा सा इधर उधर कर दिया होगा एक वर्ड को, जिस वजह से द ऑप्शन द पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट कैन बिकम इनकरेक्ट और इनकरेक्ट. ठीक है, सो प्लीज फोकस ऑन रीडिंग बिटवीन द लाइंस, रीडिंग विथ फुल कंसंट्रेशन, स्पेशली 5 स्टेटमेंट्स. क्योंकि क्या होता है, हम एक पढ़ते हैं विथ फुल कंसंट्रेशन, सेकंड को पढ़ा, द मोम बाय द टाइम वी रीच द 5th वन हमारी कंसंट्रेशन हट जाती है. ठीक है. Then the other type of area where the focus has been on is the public policy theme. Number of questions have come from public policy. Now here what you have to focus, first thing, concepts related to public policy. Though the questions, as you can see on your screen, they are very easy questions, but conceptual questions have been asked and theory-based questions have also been asked. We will see that. Okay. And the second is, apart from your Indian polity, the constitution, etc., governance, governance and social justice. That is also a very important area. So, for example, they have mentioned 6 features and they are asking, are these the features of good governance? ठीक है, तो वो चीज है. दो द अगेन द क्वेश्चन इज वेरी इजी. Contradictory these factors features have been mentioned, so this particular question won't take more than a few seconds to solve. But the focus area is that good questions are coming from good governance also. Governance hua, then public policy hua. So often again ignored themes, but the questions are coming like this. So here the question is from your game theory. Okay, so I have only taken one question. There were 3 questions, one after the other, on 3 theories, like incremental theory. So these theories are basically theories related to public administration. So if you have the optional of public administration, you must have read these theories while preparing for your paper 1. Okay, so again, but the number of statements, see, 4 statements from a particular game theory model. So if you haven't read this particular theory, it will become difficult for you to derive at the answer, to come at the answer. So, but the good thing is these theories, they don't take more than an hour for of you. So what you can do is refer to any good public administration book, or if you have a friend who has a public administration optional, so you can ask for his or her notes. तो आप जब पढ़ोगे आपको लगेगा हाँ ये तो इजी चीजें हैं. ठीक है, just rough glance would be more than sufficient. Basic idea of the theory. The moment you get the basic idea of the theory, you will be able to solve such questions. So there is nothing like Herculean task in such kind of questions, but this requires dedicated preparation. So that is the point I am trying to convey. Continuing with the type 1 category, that is static factual. So this is a state specific question. Like they have, on the basis of the political history of Odisha, so they have given 4 statements and they are asking how many of the above are correct. Okay, like who was the first governor of Odisha, who was the first, you can say, the chief justice, or when was the constitutional order regarding the separate province of Odisha that was passed. So here you can see the details, again the focus, minute details have been asked, often ignored by the aspirants as well as anyone associated with the preparation, कि ये क्यों पूछेंगे, date क्यों पूछेंगे. In a single statement, they are asking 2 dates. Second, third, fourth are manageable statements, but when such a statement comes, so this is not expected in a civil services and that to a competitive exam. Okay, but they are asking, so we have to be prepared. Yes. Now coming to, this was the type 1 we discussed. Now coming to type 2, that is your current affairs, factual again. So see, here the first kind of questions is related to your initiatives, government schemes, acts which have been in the news. So again 4 statements. The second type is the level of questions like which appear in your SSC exams or your banking exams, that personalities in news, appointments. ठीक है, तो दिस फलाना individual, he was appointed as the chief justice of the high court or a chairman of a particular constitutional body or a non-constitutional body. ठीक है, तो details regarding that particular body as well as that individual that are required. ठीक है, so this kind of question like chief justice of the high courts, so we do not expect such a question to come, but state PCS exams, they do tend to ask such factual questions as well. So to give a summary, okay, to the another kind of question is related to again state specific, not related to your Odisha per se, but to Gujarat, but it was in the current affairs that like India's first ever panchayat called Balika Panchayat. It was started in which particular region? Kutch, Bharuch, Ahmedabad, etc. So वो पूछा हुआ है again from the current affairs. Yes. So in polity, so to give you a recap, so two type of questions, major categories. One is your static plus factual, and another is current affairs plus factual. In static, the focus is more on your Indian polity and constitution. Okay, direct questions are coming. I have not uploaded that in these slides, but the focus areas have been like fundamental rights. Questions are so many questions have come from fundamental rights etc. ठीक है, तो अगर उसके लिए आपको पूरा इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ना पड़ेगा. सो देर इज नो, यू कैन से यू हैव टू बी सेलेक्टिव. ठीक है, देन bodies, whether they are constitutional or non-constitutional. Third, your focus should be on your state specific details as well, your Odisha state specific. Under current affairs, the focus would be more on these initiatives, schemes, acts, plus certain details like appointments, new schemes related to states as well. But they should be exceptional schemes, like first ever something, those kind of. Then you have to also focus on an area known as public policy. Questions have come from public policy. And lastly, you have to focus on governance and social justice. Okay. Let's discuss now Indian economy. So Indian economy, the focus will be more on current affairs. Okay, so the questions again are factual, but focus more on current affairs. So first, as you can say on your screens, so in the 2022 exam, what the question was, so the RBI had released a particular document and they have asked which of the following statements are correct in respect to that document. Again, the number of statements is 4. Okay, then as you can see towards the other side of the screen, indices, the rankings of India in the indices have been asked. Okay. Then they are also asking like in multidimensional poverty index, which state has the lowest share of poverty? So here you should know the details like which state has the highest share, which state, but I don't expect that they will be asking the numerical values of the score. Okay, so that won't be required. But in indices, you should know what is India's rank, which country has the topmost rank, who releases the rankings. Okay, or if the rankings are released through a report, what is the theme of that report? So these are the kind of details you should be aware of. Second, very state specific bill. Okay, like here in this year, uniform civil code has been in focus. Many states of the current regime at the center, they are passing this uniform civil code. Okay, so you can expect a question out of that. In this year, the focus was on this income bill, Rajasthan minimum guaranteed income bill. So यहाँ पर क्या है कि students might be getting doubts कि सर इतनी सारी states हैं तो कौन से state पे focus करना होगा. But if you see the pattern of that is emerging, the focus areas has been only those portions, only those themes which are exceptional. Again, I am repeating, which are exceptional. We talked about India's first ever water census. We talked about India's first this panchayat, Balika Panchayat. We talked about Rajasthan minimum granted bill. So these are not details which were like they appeared in a newspaper and in certain column. No, they were on the front page of the newspapers, and they were in your public discourse. They were so much in news that discussions were held on that particular newspaper article. ठीक है, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स पूछ लिए. So they have been in the news. Yes. So, but the details they are asking, they are very factual, as you can see. So no one will expect you कि आपको राजस्थान minimum guaranteed income bill के features बताओ आप. So most likely you would have prepared this particular bill from your mains point of view कि analytical question आ सकता है इसके ऊपर. ठीक है. So, but they have again asked such questions. 4 statements have been given, and totally factual question has been asked. Type 1 under this current affairs, but which have become now pretty old. For example, your withdrawal of 2000 currency notes. तो इस तरीके के भी क्वेश्चन आए हैं. ठीक है, तो इसमें क्या है कि अगेन द डिटेल्स, माइन्यूट डिटेल्स हैव बीन आस्क्ड, लाइक कब इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था, कब प्रिंटिंग बंद हो गई थी. ये नहीं बोला हुआ कि कब से वो एज अ लीगल टेंडर इट गॉट स्टॉप्ड. दे हैव आस्क्ड प्रिंटिंग कब बंद हो गई थी. बट द ओनली थिंग दैट इज हेल्पफुल फॉर द एस्पिरेंट्स कि ऑप्शंस में दो स्टेटमेंट वाले ऑप्शंस, 4 के बजाय 2 वाले ही, तो यहाँ पर इजी बन जाता है. ठीक है. टाइप 2 इज अगेन स्टैटिक फैक्चुअल. ठीक है, तो स्टैटिक फैक्चुअल इन द सेंस कि आपका जो कंसेप्ट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, लाइक विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग टैक्सेस आर लेविड एंड कलेक्टेड बाय द यूनियन बट असाइंड टू द स्टेट्स, और द क्वेश्चन कुड हैव बीन रिलेटेड टू योर फॉरेन रिजर्व, जो आपका बैलेंस ऑफ बीओ बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट होता है, तो उससे भी क्वेश्चन आया हुआ. तो स्टैटिक प्लस फैक्चुअल. ठीक है. देन स्टैटिक प्लस टाइप 3 category is your static plus current affairs. Why I say static plus current affairs? Because एक ही क्वेश्चन में they are asking details वो जो हम स्टैंडर्ड बुक से भी पढ़ते हैं. ठीक है, और जिसमें उन्होंने करंट अफेयर से रिलेटेड भी कुछ स्टेटमेंट डाली हुई. ठीक है, बट द इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग अगेन सी द थर्ड स्टेटमेंट. फोकस हेयर कि ऑन March 31, 2021 एक डेट मेंशन कर दी है. So multiple times in the same year's paper and in first statement also a month has been mentioned. So we never ask our students to focus on such details. ठीक है, बट पूछा हुआ है. Why? और ये क्या है कि इसमें again what the paper setter has done, he has taken a newspaper article. वो आर्टिकल में पैराग्राफ्स थे, उनको उन्होंने सेग्रीगेट करके स्टेटमेंट्स बना दिए. यस. फोर्थ टाइप अंडर इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज योर स्टैटिक प्लस एनालिटिकल, जहां पर आपके रीजन असर्शन आते हैं. तो रीजन असर्शन भी दोनों टाइप के हो सकते हैं. फैक्चुअल रीजन असर्शन भी हो सकता है, एनालिटिकल भी हो सकता है. तो हियर द फोकस इज मोर ऑन एनालिटिकल. ठीक है. So in Indian economy, so there are multiple categories, right from your static factual, current affairs factual, then your combined factual also, and static analytical as well. ठीक है. So and the focus areas की focus on, they have asked state specific details also in current affairs. They have asked indices also. They have asked simple static portions as well, like poverty estimation or your which tax comes under which state or center. Now multiple questions have been asked in the past related to GST. ठीक है, कि ये पर्टिकुलर 4 टैक्सेस के नाम बोल दिए या 4 एंटिटीज के नाम बोल दिए, प्रोडक्ट्स के नाम बोल दिए, और पूछा हुआ ये जीएसटी के अंदर आते हैं या नहीं, या ये कौन से स्लैब के अंदर आते हैं. तो इस काइंड के क्वेश्चंस दे हैव आल्सो आस्क्ड. नाउ कम अंडर द एनवायरनमेंट सब्जेक्ट. ठीक है. सो अंडर एनवायरनमेंट द फर्स्ट कैटेगरी इज योर स्टैटिक प्लस फैक्चुअल. ठीक है. So in first category, the questions are pretty straightforward, where the statement has been mentioned and 4 options are there. Like as you can see on your screens here, in which of the following plants does nitrogen fixation does not occur? तो ये हमारा कंसंट्रेशन होना चाहिए कि डज पूछा हुआ है, डज नॉट पूछा हुआ है। ठीक है, सो द क्वेश्चन इज वेरी इजी इन द सेंस कि यहाँ पर आपसे कोई फैक्चुअल डिटेल्स नहीं पूछी हुई है। तो इफ यू आर अवेयर ऑफ नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन, दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टैटिक पोर्शन यू हैव कवर्ड, सो यू कैन इजीली अटेम्प्ट दिस क्वेश्चन। सेकंड, here details, very specific details have been asked in the sense, यहां पर आप देखोगे कि वाटर एक्ट है जो हमारा, एयर एक्ट है, एंड द थर्ड इज एनवायरमेंटल एक्ट। तीनों पूछे हुए हैं। द ओनली फोकस ऑफ द एग्जामिनर इज वो कौन से ईयर में पास हुआ था। तो ईयर के साथ एग्जामिनर हैज प्लेड एंड ही हैज क्रिएटेड 4 ऑप्शंस। So I would categorize this particular question under your static category because ये 1970s 1980s के टाइम की हैं आपकी। Like your Environmental Protection Act is of 1986, Wildlife Protection Act 1972। ठीक है, तो अगर आपको ये चारों का ईयर पता है तो क्वेश्चन इज स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन, वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन। ठीक है, सो बट द पॉइंट इज, सी नंबर्स पर कितना ध्यान है, चाहे वो डेट हो, चाहे वो ईयर हो, चाहे वो आपका से नंबर ऑफ वाटर बॉडीज हो, चाहे वो एक न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू रिलेटेड टू से ₹2500 हो, तो वो चीजों पर बहुत फोकस है इन योर स्टेट पीसीएस एग्जाम। यस, अंडर टाइप 1 कैटेगरी द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट इज बीन आस्क्ड इज रिलेटेड टू योर sites. Now, these sites can be like your marine protected areas. These can be your national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, Ramsar sites, biodiversity heritage sites. So questions, pairs, match the following. ठीक है, वो पूछा गया है। And also this particular question is state specific. State specific question है। तो अब ये नहीं है कि हम सिर्फ एनवायरनमेंट अपना ऑल इंडिया लेवल का करेंगे या फिर सिर्फ स्टेट स्पेसिफिक करेंगे, तो दोनों टाइप के क्वेश्चंस दे हैं वास्ट। ठीक है, तो द फोकस बट हमारा क्या रहना चाहिए कि लोकेशन बेस्ड है, लोकेशन बेस्ड, कि ये वाला पर्टिकुलर बायोडाइवर्सिटी हेरिटेज साइट कौन सी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में लोकेटेड। यस, then if we see the type 2 current affairs, now type 2 is current affairs plus factual. Now here what they have done, so we all know that World Environment Day, that is celebrated on 5th of the June. So यहाँ पर इन्होंने थीम पूछी हुई है, बट द कैच इज उन्होंने सिर्फ 2023 की थीम नहीं पूछी। ठीक है, अगर आपका एग्जाम 2023 में हुआ है तो 2023 की थीम नहीं पूछी है, उन्होंने उससे पहले की 4 थीम्स भी पूछ ली हैं। एंड दे आर आस्किंग विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग पेयर्स आर नॉट करेक्ट, इज और आर नॉट करेक्ट। तो अगेन वही बात है कि हम इस चीज को फोकस नहीं करते, हमें लगता है कि एक ही साल का पूछेंगे। ठीक है, सो वी, बट यहाँ पर क्या ओनली हेल्प टू द स्टूडेंट्स इज उन्होंने ऑप्शंस ऐसे बनाए हैं कि थोड़ी बहुत हेल्प बन जाए। यस, तो बट अगेन आई वुड सजेस्ट कि ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता हम इतने सारे डेज होते हैं सबकी थीम 4-4 साल की करने लग जाएंगे। तो आइदर वी कैन लीव दिस क्वेश्चन बिकॉज जो हमारा आरओआई होगा, हम इतना टाइम डेडिकेट करेंगे इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया पे, तो आई डोंट थिंक दिस क्वेश्चन विल अगेन बी रिपीटेड कि 4 थीम पूछ रहे हैं। क्योंकि इन्होंने क्या है कि ओपीएससी में सिंगल थीम वाला क्वेश्चन भी आया है जहां पर उन्होंने 4 ऑप्शंस में थीम्स मेंशन की है और कहा हुआ है कि इनमें से कौन सी थीम है उस पर्टिकुलर डे की, उस पर्टिकुलर ईयर में। सो आई वुड सजेस्ट टू द स्टूडेंट्स की फोकस ओनली ऑन द पर्टिकुलर ईयर। तो अगर अभी 24 में एग्जाम चल रहा है तो इस ईयर की थीम, और अगर कोई सा डे अभी तक नहीं आया है तो पिछले साल वाली थी। ठीक है, under the same category current affairs factual, so country which announced to change their capital due to sea level rise, so again focus की exceptional question है। तो करंट अफेयर्स में से वही क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं जो दे स्टैंड आउट, कोई ऐसी चीज है जो आपको अट्रैक्ट करती है, सम न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल विच अट्रैक्ट्स यू। जेनरिक न्यूज़पेपर करंट अफेयर्स पे क्वेश्चंस नहीं देखने को मिल रहे हैं। ठीक है, स्पेसिफिक जैसे सेंगोल था, ठीक है, तो बहुत न्यूज में था, कंट्रोवर्सी को रिलेटेड था। अब ये एक चीज है जहां पर हाँ एक कंट्री ने अपनी कैपिटल ही बिकॉज ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज सी लेवल चेंज कर दिया। तो इस तरीके के क्वेश्चंस दे आर आस्किंग। So in environment, the focus is on first log in this. योर प्लेसेस रिलेटेड, जहाँ पर आपको हेरिटेज साइट या फिर आपका कोई भी वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी सेक्टर पूछा हुआ है कहाँ पे है, स्टेट स्पेसिफिक भी हो सकता है वो। देन इन करंट अफेयर्स द फोकस इज ऑन लाइक एक्सेप्शनल डिटेल्स, सम एक्सेप्शनल न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल्स, और कंसेप्चुअल ज्यादा नहीं है। इफ यू सी कंसेप्चुअल क्वेश्चन ज्यादा नहीं है, अगर पूछा भी हुआ है तो माइन्यूट फैक्चुअल डिटेल्स पूछी हुई है। ठीक है। नाउ कमिंग टू योर जनरल साइंस, जनरल साइंस अगेन आपका फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री एंड बायोलॉजी की बात चल रही है। ठीक है। तो इसमें क्या है कि सिंपल फॉर द पास्ट कपल ऑफ इयर्स द क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम जनरल साइंस आई एम टॉकिंग, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट टेक्नोलॉजी, दे आर प्रिटी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, दे आर सिंपल एंड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड। तो लाइक 1 light year इज इक्वलेंट टू हाउ मेनी किलोमीटर्स। ठीक है। या फिर three types of these water have been mentioned: tap water, distilled water, sea water, which will solidify first. So is kind of these kind of questions have been asked. Okay, from chemistry, from physics, 4 to 5 questions are there coming from your general science. Like it has been mentioned, a particular type of health disease has been mentioned, it has been related, it is related to which organ. ठीक है। तो वर्ड से ही पता लग रहा है कि डिजीज के नाम से ही पता लग रहा है ये किससे रिलेटेड है। ओके। देन from general science, so static plus factual, straightforward questions mostly. See, you can see one the single option based questions are there. Now coming to the last category, that is your current affairs category. Okay, so in current affairs, so the focus area number 1 is IR, international relations related. So under international relations, the first type of question they are asking is related to your organizations और ग्रुपिंग्स लाइक G20। ठीक है। G20 पे मल्टीपल क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं। या फिर अब G20 का कोई समिट हुआ तो उसका कोई डेक्लेरेशन आया। ठीक है। तो अब क्वाड समिट हुआ तो उसका कोई डेक्लेरेशन आया। तो उस पे एज यू कैन सी नाउ द स्टेटमेंट्स, दे आर प्रिटी फैक्चुअल इन नेचर, प्लस 4 statements are given and options are 2. Those statement based options are there. Yeah, but the details that they have asked are factual, like headquarters of G20 developing nations is at Patna. तो ऐसी डिटेल्स पूछी हुई हैं। ठीक है। सेकंड, विजिट्स ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर। ठीक है। अगर कोई हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर कहीं गए हैं, लाइक इन द पास्ट 2-3 months प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैज विजिटेड अ नंबर ऑफ कंट्रीज, तो उस पर क्वेश्चन एक्सपेक्टेड है। यहाँ पर ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ था। ठीक है। अब क्या है कि अगर कोई फॉरेन डिग्नेटरी इंडिया भी आए हैं, ठीक है, तो उस पर भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। लाइक दिस इज वन टाइप। द थर्ड इज लाइक इंडिया एंड यूए दे हैड एन एग्रीमेंट, तो agreement on the use of local currencies for cross border transactions. So they have again see that kind of details that have been asked. In the fourth statement they are mentioning that these two entities, they are going to be first users of this system. तो अगेन सेम क्या किया है, न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल के जो डिटेल्स थी उसी को स्टेटमेंट्स में दे हैव डिवाइडेड। तो हमारा फोकस, अगर हमने करंट अफेयर्स पढ़ा है, हमने पढ़ा है, तो फोकस ऑन द करंट अफेयर्स ऑफ से लास्ट 6 to 9 months। तो जब हम पढ़ रहे हैं करंट अफेयर्स तो हमारा आइडिया रहना चाहिए कि अगर न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल है तो मैं उस न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल को एक बार पढ़ लूं, ताकि मेरे को एग्जामिनेशन के टाइम पे थोड़ा आइडिया रहे, हाँ ये मैंने पढ़ा था। ठीक है। रादर देन उसके रिगार्डिंग बैकग्राउंड जांचने के बारे में। फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाट वुड बी द बैकग्राउंड हियर, कि इंडिया एंड यूएई क्या रिलेशनशिप्स के बारे में पढ़ रहा हूं मैं, रिलेशंस के बारे में हिस्टोरिकल कैसे रहे हैं, वो दैट बिकम्स अ टॉपिक ऑफ आईआर इन योर मेंस एग्जामिनेशन। बट यहाँ पर क्या है कि फोकस सिर्फ न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल के ऊपर है, जो न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल में आ गया उसी में से क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया, कुछ हमने अलग से उसके लिए बैकग्राउंड नॉलेज गैदर करने की नीड नहीं है। यस। Second category under your current affairs from which questions are coming is your security. तो security में क्या फोकस रहता है, जैसे कि पता है कि एक्सरसाइजेस, मिलिट्री एक्सरसाइजेस के ऊपर फोकस रहता है। तो यहाँ पर क्या है, फिर से डिटेल्स लाइक वेयर the first edition took place, whether it is a joint military exercise or what kind of military exercise, when it started, what are its objectives। ठीक है। तो यहां पर क्या है कि आप थर्ड स्टेटमेंट देखोगे, इट इज एम टू ट्रेन एलिफेंट्स इन डिफेंस एक्टिविटीज। तो ऐसी स्टेटमेंट्स भी पूछी हुई हैं जो आपको हेल्प करेंगी कि एकदम से हाँ इसको इनकरेक्ट कर दूं मैं और मेरे दो ऑप्शंस डिलीट हो जाएंगे। ठीक है। तो बट कुछ बाहर से नहीं पूछा हुआ, तो वो जो न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल रहेगा वही उसी में से दो तीन पैराग्राफ में से दे हैव मेड द स्टेटमेंट्स। फर्स्ट इज योर मिलिट्री एक्सरसाइजेज, सेकंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस रिलेटेड टू योर सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर अभी एनआईए की बात हुई है, तो यहाँ पर इसके अलावा और सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज हैं, तो दैट कैन बी स्टेट स्पेसिफिक एजेंसीज एज वेल, दे कैन आस्क। And the number of statements is again four. Then this particular question was related is from your governance with a slight tilt towards analytical aspect. तो ये बोल रहे हैं कि India is one of the few countries that is experiencing a falling child sex ratio. तो what could be the reasons behind this phenomenon? तो यहाँ पर क्या है, दो फैक्टर्स लिखे हुए हैं उन्होंने और वो पूछ रहे हैं कि is the CSR falling because of this? ठीक है, तो द क्वेश्चन इज वेरी सिंपल। आई हैव इंटेंशनली पुट इट अंडर करंट अफेयर्स क्योंकि ये चीज बार बार न्यूज में आती रहती है, एडिटोरियल्स लिखते रहते हैं इसके ऊपर और सर्टन रिपोर्ट्स डू कीप कमिंग। ठीक है, तो मैंने इसको अलग से कोई स्टैटिक में नहीं डाला, आई हैव मेंशन्ड इट डेलिबरेटली अंडर करंट अफेयर्स मिसलेनियस कैटेगरी। देन टेक्नोलॉजी रिलेटेड, एक तो हो गया जनरल साइंस आपका, एक हो गया टेक्नोलॉजी। तो टेक्नोलॉजी में फोकस अगेन लाइक दे हेयर वन एरिया इज स्पेस सेक्टर। तो अगर कोई सैटेलाइट्स हुई हैं अभी रिसेंटली आपकी, चार इनिशिएटिव्स लॉन्च हुए हैं लाइक योर न्यू जनरेशन लॉन्च व्हीकल और योर चंद्रयान, लेटेस्ट चंद्रयान और योर वीनस मिशन। तो वो गगनयान हुआ, तो उनके ऊपर माइन्यूट डिटेल्स यू शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ। ठीक है, तो पिछले छः और यू कैन से इन 2024 जो भी इंडिया के लॉन्चेस हुए हैं, तो यू शुड प्रिपेयर देम थोरोली। ठीक है। Second type of technology, now see this kind of very minute details like which company has acquired this particular messaging application called Vicar। ठीक है, तो बेसिकली यू कैन से क्वेश्चन एज सच, मतलब ये ना तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है, बस एक एप्लीकेशन के ऊपर कि एक्वायर किया है किसी कंपनी ने। सो टिपिकल योर बैंकिंग एसएससी एग्जाम टाइप level of question has been asked. So this is in total related to current affairs. One more area is your, just a moment. So one more area is your important days। ठीक है, तो जैसे हमने किया था कि मैंने वो एनवायरनमेंट के अंडर डाला था। सो वन एरिया यू कैन से इज योर, लाइक कोई भी वो डे उठाएंगे, लाइक हियर दे हैव पिक्ड अप इंटरनेशनल डे ऑफ योगा, एंड उसके ऊपर जो उसका बैकग्राउंड है, हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड है, तो उस पे दे हैव क्रिएटेड फोर स्टेट। ठीक है, तो अब जैसे वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे है तो इट इज अ रिनाउंड डे, 5 जून को होता है, तो उसका क्या बैकग्राउंड रहा है, क्या हिस्ट्री रही है, उसके ऊपर दे कैन क्रिएट चार ऑप्शंस। सो जो भी इम्पोर्ट, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको हर डे की हिस्ट्री पता होना चाहिए। द फोकस शुड बी ऑन दोज एरियाज विच आर वेरी मच लाइक दिस पर्टिकुलर डे इज रिलेटेड टू इंडिया, इट इज रिलेटेड टू इंडियन प्रेस्टीज। ठीक है, तो हमारी वजह से दिस पर्टिकुलर डे वो स्टार्टेड, तो ऐसे पे ज्यादा फोकस करना। ठीक है, तो दीज आर द ओवरऑल सब्जेक्ट वाइज, ठीक है, थीम्स दैट हैव बीन आस्क्ड इन योर पेपर फॉर द पास्ट फ्यू इयर्स। सो नाउ व्हाट वुड बी माय सजेशन टू यू पीपल इज कि नाउ आपका रिवीजन फेज चल रहा है, रिवीजन प्लस टेस्टिंग फेज। तो आपने क्या करना है, तो अगर आप हिस्ट्री पढ़ रहे हो, ठीक है, तो अब मैंने बता दिया कि टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस क्या क्या आती हैं। ठीक है, कौन से एरिया से ज्यादा क्वेश्चन आते हैं, फैक्चुअल आते हैं, एनालिटिकल आते हैं, तो आपने अपनी रिवीजन उसी तरह ट्वीक करनी। ठीक है, अगर आप जब अब फॉर एग्जांपल ज्योग्राफी पढ़ रहे हो, तो ज्योग्राफी पे मैंने कहा कि फिजियोग्राफिक फीचर्स पे ज्यादा फोकस रहता है। ठीक है, तो आप जब फिजियोग्राफिक फीचर्स रिवाइज करने लगोगे तो आपका फोकस उन क्वेश्चंस पर ज्यादा होना चाहिए, उन पर्टिकुलर चीजों पर ज्यादा होना चाहिए। अब भाई आपने ये सोचा था कि आई विल नॉट बी रीडिंग थ्योरीज रिलेटेड टू ज्योग्राफी और आई विल बी इग्नोरिंग ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी, बट क्वेश्चंस, नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आर अपीयरिंग फ्रॉम दोज एरियाज, तो वो चीज आपने पढ़नी है। ठीक है, तो वट एवर वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो, यू कैन नॉट इग्नोर दैट। तो हमारा focus in the remaining 30 days or so should be more on those areas. Yes, I hope this video will turn out to be beneficial for you. So wishing you all the best for your prelims exam. So ending the video on this note now. Thank you everyone.